course, people are starting to prepare for a couple of weeks down the road for guests coming over. And nowadays, people are a lot more aware of some people that are on restricted diets, or they choose to be on restricted diets, and they're trying to do things a little healthier and a little easier too.
Yes.
Right, Sherry Clark?
Yep, indeed. And sometimes, Lou, we'll have a guest come to our house that we're used to having them eat a certain way, and then they might find out that they've been diagnosed that they have something. Let's say they're celiac, or they've made some determination that they want to change their eating habits, and then you as the host say, oh great, what do I do now? And so what I'm here to do today is take a little bit of the anxiety off the host, and a little bit of the anxiety actually off the person that's eating differently. And what I've done today is unusual for me, because usually I make homemade things for everyone. Everything we're doing today is store-bought, because let's take some of the pressure off of this. We've already got enough stress during the holidays. So I've taken some things and I've done some liberties with them, but it's all stuff you can get at the store.
No, commonly found
Common
things.
to find things, yes. And what I want to do is make sure that people understand when somebody says they have some kind of, let's say it's an eating restriction or something that they're trying as an experiment, let's try to work with that and ask questions. That's the first order of business, is say if someone says to you, I'm eating gluten-free, a legitimate question would be, well, tell me about that. Why is that? Maybe they're doing it because it's a dietary concern and an issue. Maybe they're doing it because they're celiac. If they're celiac, which means that's a medical condition, then you're going to want to be really careful about not getting any gluten in them. If it's something that's dietary, you might have a little bit more freedom and flexibility. So ask questions and don't be afraid of that. Okay, so let's talk about hitting the broad middle. A lot of times people will say gluten-free, there's a sugar-free one, sometimes people are eating paleo. Whatever the restrictions are, you know that I'm raw vegan. Typically a raw vegan lifestyle will hit all of those bases. So if you eat something that's raw and vegan, it's gluten-free by its nature, it's refined sugar-free, it's dairy-free, and it's vegan. So you've hit a lot of the wide bases. So the first thing I want to suggest is, if we're having guests over for breakfast, you've had overnight guests, the container that's got the lid on it, go ahead and unscrew that lid. This is a perfect example of a really simple, easy breakfast that you can make. This can be made ahead the night before, and all this is a fruit salad. And you might think, well, why in the heck do I need her to tell me to make a fruit salad?
Right.
Most people don't think ahead. They think, oh, breakfast, that's eggs and bacon and whatever. This is a perfectly lovely way to make individualized salads. Now, there's nuts on here. There's nuts and raisins and some things to make it a little bit special. So if people have a nut allergy, just leave the nuts out. Or put sunflower seeds in or something. So by making them in individual containers the night before, the next morning as the host, all you've got to do is take those containers out, put them on the table, and you can sleep a little bit later.
And you know what's really nice about this too? If you put this in the refrigerator, like you mentioned, everything's going to be cold.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
It's not going to be some things cold, some things warm.
Right, and the flavors will meld. I put a little bit of orange juice in there. There's orange segments in there, and the oranges will help keep the bananas fresh and keep them from browning. So,
and as we discussed in last week's segment, sometimes it's just about the presentation. If you make something cute and personal for them, they feel special and like you thought of them and are doing something special for them.
This is also a versatile dish. Jason, you have a martini glass in front of you.
I couldn't help but notice that.
I want you to take your breakfast and dump it in your martini glass.
I've always wanted to do this.
Now drink it.
Yeah, puree it first. Now you've got a little tiny bowl of some sprinkles there.
All right, that's what these are?
Those little red sprinkles.
What are they?
Those are just, I've taken some coconut flakes and I dyed them with beet juice. That's it, then let them dry.
Some sprinkles.
Then you've got a little glass in front of you. Pour that right on there. That's, yes, you know what that is. That's a Grand Marnier. Now you have a fabulous dessert. We've taken, and so if there's any breakfast left over, and now that's gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free.
I'm gonna try it.
And it's shareable. Everybody wants a piece of the action. Exactly. So you can, by taking one thing, you can make it versatile and go. Isn't that lovely?
That really cooks it up a notch.
Yeah, it really does. Okay.
So these glasses, where did you get these?
Just at any kind of a Bed Bath and Beyond.
Really?
Yeah. They're just a martini glass.
Cute.
So again, like Jackie said, it's part of it is in the presentation.
It makes people feel special. It's super easy, seems super easy, but it makes you feel special.
And there's no issues in there for dietary
feel special
problems.
in about 10 minutes.
Okay, I've got a litany of store-bought things in front of me. I want to just kind of quickly hit through the high notes. In your little square dish in front of you, you've got something that you've seen from me before.
Yep.
Okay.
And what that is spiralized zucchini.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm going to remind you that the easiest way of doing that is to just simply take a zucchini. I've got a peeler, vegetable peeler, and I just strip through here.
Cool.
And then all of a sudden I've got
shave it down.
your noodles. Okay, but I don't want to cook today. I don't want to do any food preparation.
Right.
So I did some store-bought pesto.
Okay, yeah, because usually you're making some homemade
I'm usually making
pesto.
mine from scratch. This one is, you can see, it's vegan sun-dried pesto. So I'm going to take that. What I would do to make it more special, as we've talked about, presentation matters, is I would put it into a bowl. But for today, we're just going to put it, and you just put that, a little bit of that on the top.
dollop on
Kind
there.
of make your pasta or your salad.
Then, because presentation matters, I've got a little olive. We're going to put that on the top as the garnish. You can just either shake that out of there, or you've got a clean fork. And then you've got, now that could be a side dish for people who don't have any restrictions, or it could be the main course, not obviously that size, but the main course for somebody who's concerned about gluten.
Really concerned, yeah.
About this pesto.
That's great.
Very flavorful. Bought it off the shelf.
That pesto does taste good.
Isn't that great? So you can buy
And you
it
don't
off
have to
the
heat
shelf.
this up?
No, you can heat it, but if you want to, you can. You could put it in a little pan and saute it really quickly, but it's not necessary.
And that's my level of cooking right there.
No time, no pain, no worries.
Wow.
Okay?
Good job.
So you know I've got to have dessert, and you know it usually involves dates. This is how I buy my dates very often, and I buy them. This is a package that I buy at Costco, primarily because it's cost effective. This is a little under $9 for this container, and there is a lot.
That's a big container.
It's a lot of dates in here, and they're very fresh and they're very moist. Medjool dates are really nice and big and chewy. That's what I've got on your little triangular plate. And then all I did to make it into a dessert and to ramp it up for you was just simply take some almond butter and put it in there.
That's it?
That's it.
I love You've done this before.
That's it.
Dates are some of the most underused,
It tastes like a candy bar.
delicacy that's out there.
And they're delicious. And remember, I can change this up any way, shape, or form. Sprinkle some coconut, some chopped nuts. I could put raisins. I could drizzle it with honey. Sprinkle of cinnamon. Anything you want to do with it. If you don't like almond butter, use cashew butter. Use whatever, and change it up. Now you've got dessert for the people who can't indulge, perhaps, in the chocolate mousse pudding.
Pies or
Right.
cake.
Exactly, but they're not deprived. So now let's take a look at beverages. Because one of the things that people also will find this time of year, there may be people who've decided to abstain. Maybe some people have gone into recovery or whatever. And you know, you want them to feel like they're part of the celebration.
And we're talking from alcohol.
From alcohol,
Okay.
precisely. Thank you. I like this particular kind of kombucha because it looks like wine. It's actually called Cabernet, and if you take a sip of it, it's got a little bit of it's got a
really
grapey
good.
taste to it. And it's really nice, and then you're not relegating the people who have chosen not to imbibe as
What am I
being
smelling?
outsiders. It's a kombucha. It tastes to me like grapes.
I love it.
It's got a sparkle to
I
it.
say it does have a little bit of fizz to it.
Yeah.
It has that effect, yeah.
And that's what I like about it. It's
Almost
celebratory.
like a sparkling champagne or sparkling wine. That's what
Yes.
yeah.
So you can put it in a champagne flute. Jason's back
It
to the
tastes good
dessert.
with it tastes good with the fruit.
I bring things that go together, of course. Now, we can also do a dry soda for people who
cucumber
are not
soda.
interested.
It smells like apple cider vinegar to me now that I'm placing it. Is that accurate or no?
Because it's fermented.
Okay.
And because it's fermented, it's good for you, right?
It's really good for you. Yep, absolutely lovely. Okay, very quickly then,
Yes.
couple other things that you can buy at the store. Gluten-free crackers. These are flax crackers.
Those are good.
To go with those, you could buy a non-dairy cheese, and this is really tasty. And then there are store-bought macaroons and those kinds of things. So you've got a lot of options.
A lot more options in the past year and a half or so. Too.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
open up your eyes, and if you don't see them in the normal section, go to the health area of your favorite grocery store. They'll have them there.
And don't make your people who have restrictions feel like losers.
Exactly. Have some fun. You should have a great
And
time.
remember,
And if people have questions and maybe
You
they're
don't
getting
have
ready
to
for a
invite them
party
again.
and they want to reach out to you, of course they always can.
Absolutely. www.fork-road.com.
Wonderful. Great stuff, as always.
Yeah, you betcha.
Thank you so much.